welcome to the first prompt guide that I'll be doing as part of a series where I basically take some popular images and show how they were created. So we'll get into it. This image is basically a mix of a woodblock print and an architectural drawing. There are a few other things going on here, but that's kind of the core underlying style. Some key attributes of these are that they're on the lower side of both color and exposure. They're kind of more subdued in both lighting and color, but they are still bright, meaning they're not dim, dull gray to the point where they feel too old or black and white. They have a kind of an element of light that makes it apparent there's some glow, and that the it would feel well lit to stand in the scene. So those are kind of key features of the image here. There are people gathered, the buildings are tall, there's some geometry, some repetition, some precision and detail. Those are all things we're going to try to recreate, and as you'll see, the default behavior of Midjourney is not necessarily consistent with this. So I'm going to start off all these videos just with a really quick just example of what Midjourney thinks of art by default. This is helpful because you have to kind of fight against this, but it's also helpful to do this with other words so you can understand what Midjourney thinks woodblock-print means, or what Midjourney thinks the color blue means. These things, Midjourney's kind of got a different understanding of each word than a person might, and that means that it's helpful to understand what it thinks of that word. So next I'll try woodblock-print, and I'll try architectural drawing. These will give us a sense of kind of the base styles that we'll be combining. So it should make sense we're doing something in the middle of them. And then while that's loading in, I'll work on getting rolling on our actual prompt. So I'm going to throw woodblock-print in there twice because I kind of want it more on that side. You can use weighting syntax to do this instead of typing it twice, but I just find it simpler to type it twice. So you can see each of these things have their own distinct style. They come with their own set of distinct imagery to some degree. Architectural drawing doesn't just get you a drawing style, it gets you architecture as the content. So words come with both a style and a meaning, or style and a kind of more content associated meaning. Here we've got no color, but you can see it's somewhere in between. Okay, next let's get some color in there. So I'm going to go well lit, bright, tan, and blue gray. And I'm going to use those colors because I want kind of tan to be my highlight or base paper color. But I want blue gray to be kind of the main primary color that gets used, and I don't want a ton of other colors. I don't really want a rainbow. I don't want this level of variety going on. I want color, but I want it to be kind of contained to a certain range. So let's try that. That'll get us some color, but it probably won't be this level of lighting and color. We're going to need to use words like golden hour for that. While that's coming in, I'm going to start defining the location and era. So I'll go with Paris, and I might emphasize that a few times, because if I don't, I might get other kind of Paris-related things like European architecture generally. I'm still going to get some of that, but the more you emphasize a specific detail that's important, the more accurate it is. Okay, and then we'll go golden hour. And these colors have a bit of texture to them still. I kind of want to get rid of that water feeling. I'm going to both go flat a couple times, flat colors. I don't want these kind of deep blue. I actually want it to be muted in lower saturation. And then I'm gonna go, well, let's just try that. And then for that water effect that I don't like, I'm gonna go no water. So no is a flag that lets you describe an inverse prompt, something to try to avoid when generating the image. And that appears right here. And you can see we're starting to get, now that we've entered Paris, some initial results. They don't feel like what I'm going for yet, but that's pretty good. Like, it's a good result. It feels like Paris. I'm happy with the result. It's too colorful. I want some people in there. I want it to be more zoomed out, wider angle, and not quite so up close to any particular thing. So let's do a few of those. Let's get people gathered. And let's do no close-up. And we'll bring water back here. And I also am going to use no characters. What this does is when you have people in the scene, it kind of helps reduce the level of detail of the characters or the people in the scene, making them further away. That's the idea there. All right, so these results are feeling pretty nice. They're still kind of close up. So I'm gonna throw tiny figures in there, which might help some. You can actually use the term 1,000 feet. Sometimes this will create a kind of minimum scale of the scene in some sense where, you know, things that are 1,000 feet tall or wide or whatever are big, so they make for the shot being wider. I also want to get rid of the Eiffel Tower because it's a little generic. And we kind of want like a city street, as well as we don't really want modern Paris. We more want the 1800s. That's what I want. And while that's loading in, these are just feeling a little bit less precise than I'm wanting still. They're a little bit more cartoonish or childish in some sense. This I'm liking for the detail and the color. Detail's pretty good there. Colors are good there, but they're a bit saturated. Let's try low saturation. And I'm going to try some keywords like clarity, clear, tasteful, elegant, refined. These words are a little bit of a shot in the dark in that they have a very general effect, but they can be still quite helpful in reducing some of that child feeling or that like less careful, less skillful feeling. Okay, getting pretty close here. I'm gonna go city, maybe rather than city street, because this is getting us a little too low to the ground, I think. And I'm gonna throw in some more words: precise, moulding. This will add some detail. You know, traditional moulding has inherent detail. Engravings can sometimes kind of add the types of details I like, where there's, you know, just handcrafted type looking effects or details on architecture. That keyword can be helpful. And I'm also going to go flat, muted. I'm still getting a lot of water, and I would like the colors to be even flatter than they're coming through here. And I might try pencil drawing as well. Pencil drawing might make this a little bit less watercolor and a little bit more like a precision hand drawing, if that makes sense. And I'll throw in orderly as well. Orderly can help with some of the kind of precision related or cleanliness related traits of the image. We've got a few other no flags that I used before that I haven't used yet, but I think you can already tell from these coming in, they're pretty sharp and intricate. We might have gone too far with the low saturation there. Depends how you like it. You can do a lot in Photoshop as well. But I think I'm actually missing part of the reason Part of the reason that's not working is because I'm missing some words I had before. I had golden hour, but before I also had warm colors, and I had fuzzy feeling, which I've found Midjourney does a good job of understanding the idea of warm and fuzzy. It comes through in the images. So let's try that. But what I was going to say is that we've got no close-up, no water effect, if we can help it. Might do that again even, because I'm still getting some of it. No characters, like no close-ups, even though we are still getting a bit of that. The other things I was going to add were blotchy, which is kind of related to this water feeling, and sloppy, which kind of has to do with general detail. Here this was with golden hour. You can see it's quite a bit more comfortable. I'm going to run that a few times. Quite a bit more warm and colorful. I think I said comfortable. Liking the colors a lot here. The details okay, but let's give that an upscale and see what we get. With upscaling, the detail can vary quite a bit. An image can look good, but then come out different from how you want it to. A lot of these are not very Parisian still. It's just kind of a fact of Midjourney. We can try to use some keywords like Europe or Renaissance. The Eiffel Tower is probably hurting us, taking that out, you know, because it's tied to Paris, so we're getting something that's probably less Parisian in general. These are feeling a little bit more traditional and formal than I'm wanting. These two are pretty good. They're a little bit Pinteresty. Let's try flat colors, and I'm going to throw cartoonish in there. Try it once with a single cartoonish and once with another. Cartoonish gives people, buildings, a bit more of a fun or lighthearted feeling, which here we're not getting very much of that, especially here. Okay, there we go. I think that about does it. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen an image just like this. I think this gets interesting when you start to describe vignettes within this scene. So you could describe somebody working at a marketplace, or somebody inside one of these buildings, or, you know, this is just a setting in which our story could be told throughout multiple images. I recommend switching out the city here. I recommend trying this with other eras and time. I recommend trying other kind of descriptions of the camera, you know, try it without the people, try it with closer shots. You can try keywords like centered or symmetrical. You can try sketchy, artistic, abstract, collage. That'll get you something more interpretive and less kind of realistic. As I was describing with the upscaling, it's okay here. It's pretty good, I would say. Like this is totally usable. I would run that a few more times, hoping for a bit more sharpness on the details. And then if I liked it, I would run it through Topaz Upscaler, which you have to pay for, but it does, in my opinion, the best job of not killing the feeling of the images while adding sharpness and crispness. Okay, these are loaded in. I'm pretty happy with this image. This is like a top 5 image of this style I've seen. And this is pretty cool, the kind of multi-axis feeling you get from it, where you really feel the 3D nature of it. That's got a lot of nice detail, even though the colors are less interesting. That's pretty nice. A little bit dull. Interesting architecture, even though the colors aren't perfect. So hopefully that's interesting. Let me know in the comments or on Instagram. You can DM me if you have questions about how to kind of get this effect. If you're not getting these exact results, check the caption. I'll put this prompt, and this prompt all in the caption. That that exact order of keywords does matter to some degree. I recommend trying them around just to see what effect it has. But yeah, that's about it. All right, well, thank you for watching, and look out for the next one. They'll be coming out over the winter every few weeks probably.